Welcome into our overtime segment here on SportsSource.tv. As always, it's brought to you by our friends at Smokin' Joe's, 2 area locations. The original store right off Paper Mill, and then their newer store down in Alcoa. Both of them just fantastic selection. If you're a cigar enthusiast, then the best place to go in terms of matching price with selection, Smokin' Joe's. Mike Hicks and his family do a great job. Tell them I sent you. All right, we are here with 4 VFLs. These guys are all going to be in our shows this Sunday. On Sundays this fall, part of our post-game shows. We got Sterling Hinton, Daniel Hood, Will Overstreet, and Shazan Bradley down right down there. I'm going to make this kind of easy, guys. Let each of you make your point. Shazan, I'll start with you if you want to do it. What's the key to this season? I mean, you can say running game, quarterback, attitude, whatever. In your mind, the key to Tennessee having a special season is what?
Dobbs' ability to complete passes deep.
So passing the ball deep.
Deep. We have to have a deep threat. No deep threat, it's going to be a long season.
All right, there you go. Will Overstreet.
Injuries at offensive line and linebacker. Do you get them? When do you get them? How bad are they? Who do you have to replace those individuals? I think those are your 2 biggest positions where you have a severe drop-off or nothing really behind a certain group of people that eventually, if you have something there, your season, we said over and under of what the season looked like at one point, it really would start looking like you're going to be under 10 if you lose at 1 or 2 positions, too many people.
All right, we got deep passing game. We've got injuries at key positions, linebacker and offensive line specifically. Daniel Hood, what is the key to the season?
I think Will probably knows it best. It's defense. I think how does Bob Shoot come in to make plays? Because you look at where we were last year, the offense was able to come in and do some great things, get us leads, wasn't able to sustain it. And I think you look at Oklahoma, Florida, and Alabama. If we can just close out one more drive a game, we win that, we're +3 in the win total, and you're talking about a 12-win season, and that's a huge difference.
All right, Sterling Hinton.
I know it's funny, offensive minded I am, as much as I love to score points, I still think the key is our defense keeping opposing teams under 24 points. I think our offense can score 30 a game, maybe on the bad days 27, 24, but if our defense keeps other teams under 24 points, every one of those games we should win.
What'd you say, Sterling?
Our defense keeping them under 24 points, we should win every one of those games.
Yeah, you're the lone offensive guy here. You got a bunch of D linemen here. I'm coming after you.
And they're always coming after you. It's part of the job, but that's all right. It's sometimes, I believe our offense will be successful and break more records, but if our defense holds the teams under 24 points, we will win those games. I really mean that.
You guys have all played high school, college, obviously. Some of you pro as well. It's often said you can get up to this point. You can get to the door, but the toughest point is kicking that door open. To get past, all right, we're learning how to win, and people roll their eyes at that. It's a cliche. I've never talked to a football player yet who hasn't said it's not a cliche, it's true. The toughest thing is getting through that door and learning to win. Is this team ready for that? Now, obviously, we'll know more in December. But right now, do you feel confident that this team is ready to kick down that door?
I say absolutely. And I'm not saying that's being the normal hype guy. I'm just saying because of the work they put in and the hurt that they suffered last year in those losses. Those guys were really in pain. I thought you saw some of the benefit of that pain on those losses toward the end of the season. That Missouri game was a tough game. We had a couple of tough games down toward the end.
South Carolina was tougher
tough
than people
game,
thought.
but we won those games. We won. And that's what we're going to take into this season.
Daniel Hood.
I think you make a great point. This is where we're trying to find out is what Coach Jones' ceiling is. Is it 9-10 wins, or can we get over the hump and go? And so you're right. We will find out in December where we're at. But, same thing Sterling said. You watch these guys. You watch them work. I mean, even something simple as you go by the team right now and just look at their bodies.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unreal what these guys are looking like. And, I mean, compared to just 3-4 years ago, what they looked like. And so just off how they've worked, how they've earned it, bringing in, Schutz, who's one of the best defense coordinators in the country, bringing in DeBoard with Josh Dobbs, who's the best running quarterback we got, I think we can get there.
Yeah. Well, I think there's one thing of kicking down the door, and then there's turning around and defending it from the other guy, kicking it in, trying to kick it in on you. I think that the one part about this team is I think they did learn to win last year. I think they know how to get there. It's going to take a different learning this year. of after you win a couple of games and everybody's patting you on the back and telling you you're going
Right.
all the way to the championship, nobody can beat you. What do you do then? How do you practice then? Because that's when you're going to have your issues if you don't learn that lesson of how to keep winning, even when everybody's telling you you're great.
Sean, do you think this team is ready to kick the door down? so
There's
to
no
speak?
doubt about it. I mean, the guys, they've lost a lot of close games, a lot of close, really games that they should have won, could have won either way, and that's part of learning how to win. You know, in order to win, in order for someone to win, someone must lose. Hey, it's time to start winning. I think they'll figure out how to win.
I think the speaking a little bit about what Will was talking about here, there are 2 weeks that I look at that I think are going to be the moments that define the season. Not games, but it's the week in between. One is the week between Florida and Georgia. Reason being, you're either going to beat Florida and everybody's going to be patting you on the back and you're supposed to go down to Georgia and kick their tails. You better get your head on straight. The other side of that, if you lose to Florida, this town won't abide, and the national media will be all over them. So you would have to get your head on straight and save your season by winning at Georgia. That week is huge for that purpose. I also look at that open date. It's before South Carolina, and everybody can roll their eyes that South Carolina is going to be terrible. They were terrible when they almost came in here and beat Tennessee last year, too. And Will Muschamp, we can laugh all we want. He's 3-0 against Tennessee. My concern isn't so much South Carolina on the road. You're coming off of a 4-game stretch that will define your season. If you're having to lick your wounds there at that open date, that's an issue. If you're coming out of there flying high with 1 loss or no loss, now you need to be able to focus and say, we can't just roll our helmets out against these last few opponents. So to me, I'm really looking at that week between Florida and Georgia, regardless of the Florida outcome, and then that open date. After that big gauntlet of 4 games, before you get to the 4 guys you should beat at the end, where is this team mentally? And to me, that is the biggest question mark in terms of being able to kick a door down. I want to see if they're able to handle adversity, but also handle prosperity, which I think is what you're getting at.
That's exactly what I'm trying to get at. Is this, you got to be able to handle both, and it's different when you have to handle prosperity, and you've got to learn how to do it because some people are not very good at it.
And the thing is, you also, and I will say this is a positive for Butch Jones. Anybody that thinks this team's going undefeated, that doesn't happen in the SEC. You go back Alabama, and I think Nick Saban, of his 4 national championships, 3 of them had a loss. So you're going to lose a game at some point. A positive that you've seen with this program under Butch Jones is he hasn't let too many losses spiral out of control. He tends to be able to get them back in order and finish strong. But this team will lose at some point. And when you've got all the hype behind you, I don't care if you've beaten Florida and lose to Texas A&M, all the people are going to be mad about losing to Texas A&M. They can say, oh, no, they get a pass if they beat Florida. Yeah, you get a pass for 5 days, and then you better win again. 3. So to me, that's part of that mentality thing right there.
So I think my biggest or the thing that I'm worried the most is we've not won a game in a week in to week out setting to where we've had to travel the distance that we got to travel down to Texas A&M. I mean, our furthest away, I think, win that we've had from home in a week-to-week basis has been Missouri, and Texas A&M still a little bit further than that. So
and
that
a tougher environment than Missouri.
And so again, Chavis is down there in his 2nd year, so you're going to have a tough defensive plan who's been really good at playing the run. The spread's kind of what gave Chavis some issues, but so that one worries me. I'm all right with Florida coming in, Alabama coming in, but how do we manage that with all the guys?
Maybe if Tennessee goes down, they might get lucky. Maybe Chavis brings out the prowler. Doesn't really work against mobile quarterbacks. Will Overstreet has flashbacks to the LSU. Sorry, we'll end it.
Mustang.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. They were talking about Bob Shoop's 6DB pack. I mean, everybody's got that package. But I was so glad to see he doesn't call his the Mustang. Like, don't call that'll freak people out. Shazan Bradley, Will Overstreet, Daniel Hood, Sterling Hinton. You can look for these guys all year long. They're going to be with us in the fall for football season. We will see you right back here next week for the Sports Source, 11 a.m. on WATE 6. Thank you.